All right, today we're going to go ahead and take a look at the big picture outline note-taking method. So if you could access your textbooks, either the digital version or your actual physical textbooks, and we will go ahead and begin. So first of all, with each chapter, there's an introduction. Please do read that introduction. There's a nice story or tale to go along with it, but it also set the stage for the chapter that you're discussing. There's some key words, some key individuals that may show up in the chapter as well. So it's a really good read to have just to kind of get you into the chapter itself. So go ahead and read that chapter introduction. And then from there, you'll find a number of items. And particularly in this textbook, right at the top, you're going to see that there are sections that are broken up, and each section, so say for example, we've got this section right here, global competition, the expansion of England's empire. There's a focus question for each one. What we want to be able to do with a big picture outlining method is to be able to write down notes that are associated with this particular question. So there's a task at hand and a focus as you're reading. So you're not writing an outline form notes with no focus, where you're writing everything down. You want to be able to key in. In this case, you're on the focus question: how did the English Empire in America expand in the mid 17th century? And so again, this directly applies to that particular section. And what you have are various subsections that will help to support that point there. So keep in mind, these titles are very useful later on. So please do take a look at those. So the first one is the mercantilist system. So there are two ways to take notes, one of which is going to be a digital version, and the other will be a analog version. So one where you can go ahead and write down on a sheet of paper. And so with the sheet of paper, you can go ahead and set it up this way, where you have about a third of the left-hand column there. Go ahead and fold along that left edge right here. So you have a place to go ahead and place in added information sidebar notes. Now, in terms of class requirements, this is not required. It is optional, but you might find it useful, especially with items that don't fit into the focus question. So otherwise, the rest of this is an outlining format where you're going to go ahead and take notes based on the big ideas derived from the section titles, the subtitle sections, and also the focus question as well. So we've got the first major subheading, which is the mercantilist system, and then from there we've got a set of outline notes. So what you want to be able to do is to be able to, and if you want to use the digital version, it should look something like this. There's a place for you to go ahead and place in your section thesis later on. And then from there, you've got the major headings and subheadings and so forth. So please do take a look at that. And what you want to do at this point is to be able to add in the focus question. And so the focus question, use the comment tool. And so take a look at that focus question. Here's the one that we looked at, and use the comment tool to go ahead and place it on the side there so that you have an idea of, okay, this is what I'm keying in on as I'm reading the particular text. And so if you're using the written version, just go and put it on the left-hand side right there. So now we're focused, we're keyed in, and now we start the reading. So there's the mercantilist system. Read through that entire subsection and start taking notes. But again, what you're writing down is hopefully evidence that supports this question right here. You want to focus on the English Empire in the Americas and how expansion occurred. So in other words, what policies, what decisions are made, who ended up acting in the end for England to expand its empire in the Americas. So that's what you're writing down. So you're really looking for evidence that will answer that particular prompt. So if you want to pause the video right now, kind of try this out for yourself, please do so. So pause it now, and we'll come right back in a moment. Okay. So with that, and hopefully you've utilized the outline format, again, using numbers and letters and the correct indentations and so forth here. But what you want to be able to do is, from here on out, generate some notes. And some notes might look something like this. What I would suggest with these notes is that they include some kind of action. So whether it's the verb, arrows that denote that this caused this or this led to this, and whatever possible to demonstrate that there's some kind of action that's taking place here. So go ahead and review this, compare it with your notes. Again, your notes might be different than mine. Okay? How I read it might be different than yours and another student, and so forth here. But either way, it should be unique to you. Okay? And try as best as you can to use your own words to be able to describe what is going on here, and not a direct copy of what you see in the text, because that'll help you to process what's going on. Now, what about material that does not apply directly to the focus question, or you think it's useful for later, or you see items that reflect historical reasoning, for instance? Well, you can go ahead and use that left-hand side there. Okay? And so put in any personal thoughts, any ideas, anything that might, again, address historical reasoning. You see change over time, you see comparisons that are going on. Write that down because you will need it later. Okay? This is, again, it's optional, okay? But again, very useful in terms of thinking through what you are actually reading. All right. Okay, so from there, once you have each of the sections done, so again, complete the rest of the section. Okay, so you've got others that are coming up. So from there, you've got the mercantilist system. The next set of questions include the conquest of New Netherlands, New York and Indians, Charter of Liberty. So there's a lot of little subsections. Okay, that exists. So after you've completed all of this, okay, so you've got a list of titles, you've got the focus question, you've got all of this evidence here, and you're going to take that focus question and pretend it's an essay prompt. And so now you've got all this evidence, you kind of have an idea of how to answer this. What you want to generate is a thesis statement. So again, imagine this is an essay, generate and have this practice of a thesis statement. So something that will encompass all of these subheadings, some of the evidence that you've produced here. So here's what I've come up with. Okay? You can go ahead and review that, pause the video as need be, and yours might be different. It might be longer, it might be shorter than this here. But again, use the material to generate and have this practice of a thesis statement, because you've got all this evidence. And in essays, you will do the exact same thing. Okay. Then from there, go and tackle the rest of the assigned sections. And at the end of the chapter or assigned readings, there are the historical thinking skill reflection questions. Hopefully, you've sort of, as you've read, brainstormed and thought about some of these questions here. So hopefully, this is part of that process so that you can answer it almost immediately after you finish the notes. Okay. All right, from there, that's the big picture outline method. Again, you can do this through the digital format if you would like, or if you are doing this on paper, please go and make sure you take a scan and create and generate a PDF and attach it to your submission. All right, good luck with this.